put a couple of asks up on social media asking you to give us your questions. We've collected them, and today we have Max and Michelle here to answer them. Max and Michelle, would you guys like to introduce yourself?
Sure. I'm Max Murphy. I'm the CTO of Kongregate. Took everyone on this crazy blockchain ride a few years back, and here we are now.
And I'm Michelle Shaw. I'm our Chief Blockchain Operations Officer here at Kongregate. Been here for several years with Max hanging out, and he pulled me along on this crazy blockchain adventure, and I'm very happy that he did. I think that we're onto something really cool here.
Well, I'm glad Max pulled you along, which pulled someone else along, which eventually pulled me along. I'm happy to be here as well. So a couple questions from the community today. Starting with a very specific question from Golgrax. Max, how's your day going?
Hey, my day so far has been great. So far I've been talking to people I enjoy talking to, and all leading up to this, which is honestly going to be the highlight of my day.
I'm happy to hear that. And Michelle, I feel like it's only fair to extend the same question to you, even though it was directed at Max. Michelle, how's your day going?
My day is going great as well. Me and Max both came from a meeting earlier where we got to see some really great progress. So I think we're both excited that the team is uh, doing some cool stuff. Obviously, we can't show it just yet, but definitely making progress.
Yeah, but there is plenty of stuff today we can talk about. And the big question, the whole thing that's bringing us together here today, is our recent rebranding. Michelle, one of the questions, inspired by Fanturesetemum, which is the fun part about being an online community manager, is trying to parse people's usernames. Michelle, why are we rebranding?
Sure. So we have actually been rebranding or tweaking the brand for a very long time. I think in smaller ways that maybe folks didn't notice. But at a certain point, when was that? It had to be sometime late last year. Our mission had kind of changed pretty dramatically from where we had started, and we really wanted something new and modern, both in terms of the look and feel of the Congregate website, but also just in terms of what our brand kind of says to everyone out there. And so we really wanted to do a more full rebrand and present ourselves as we are today, not as we were 16 years ago. Not that we don't love the original brand. I think there's so many great things that come with the brand. And we wanted to make sure that we hold on to as many of those as possible while still expanding and becoming more modern. But yeah, a little long-winded. Apologies.
Oh, that's the whole point. That's what everyone's here for. And like you mentioned, still holding on to that old brand going forward. Would that also mean that the ants are sticking around? Max,
Yeah,
do you have any comments
the
about
ants are
ants?
sticking around. I mean, we're all ants, and maybe I'm like three ants in a trench coat over here. You never know. Um, but the ants are still there. A spoiler without giving away too much, just kind of to head to the right while looking at the new logo and think real hard about ants, and their antenna will broadcast their presence to you real quick.
Yeah, yeah, and like you can almost kind of like feel it in your mandibles what you want to say.
Exactly.
Yeah, just to follow up on the ants more specifically, I have actually worked our GDC booth a few different years
Oh,
when we were having it, and it was always so much fun to have people come up to the booth. And the very first thing that every person always says is, "OMG, that you guys are Congregate with the ants on the website. I love you guys. I played you so much in whenever time period they were coming from." And so we definitely didn't want to get rid of the ants in any way, shape, or form. It's just changed a little bit, and we definitely still see that as part of our identity. We definitely didn't want to change that. That was a big one that our designer was said, no, we still need to have this somewhere, some way.
and just hearing that makes me think like we really should have an office ant farm. I'm just putting that out there now. That's my suggestion for team bonding is a nice little ant farm we can all take care of.
Uncle Max's Congra Ant Farm coming to stores near you 2023. I think that sounds good.
That's a great idea. I can't believe we haven't done that before.
Oh, so okay, let's focus a little bit more on the website. And like you said, those games that people have been coming to our site to play forever, that they know us for. We have a question from Meanie Extras here. What's happening to the current Kongregate and all its games with the new brand? Sorry about that. Michelle, could you help us out with this one?
Sure. So we've actually gotten a bunch of questions that are very similar to this. So we'll try and cover all of them. So what's happening with the current site? Spoilers to what we're going to be talking about later. Lots of things. But with the new brand, I think this is kind of the first stage in what we're planning to change and update and bring more modern features to the site. Do you want to ask another question so I don't just run over all our questions and not get to give shout outs to people?
Talk as much as you want. Yes, but I do know. Yes, we have a kind of a follow-up question to this that was submitted by Rue de Luca. Will the new Kongregate.com still have games, or is it more of a page? Is it more of an about page for the company?
So that is a great question. It is 100% still going to have games. So we definitely updated our about page. I'm personally excited about that coming from the marketing side, but I know nobody else is. But we're definitely still going to have games. That is who Kongregate is. We want to have fun games for everybody to play.
Yeah, we're bringing new games out like quickly here too. As a spoiler for the community, our first new game in a couple of years, of course, it is one of ours. We launched Bit Heroes Runner on the site in open beta. Feels a little bit like alpha, but please bear with us and play the game because it's pretty rad. But I have other developers coming on, bringing new games to the site. The difference that from the past of anyone can just jump on Kongregate and upload a game is we're going to be curating our developers essentially. Like reach out to bd@kongregate.com for that, but it's definitely returning to the self-service developer publishing platform that we've always been, that we kind of veered away from for a few years there as Flash died, and we're seeing so much cool stuff happening in HTML5 these days. And it's not all Web3, it's a mix of Web2 and Web3 games coming back to the platform. So if any of you are developing games, let me know. Email bd@kongregate.com, and if you want to reach out to me, I'm pretty easy to guess what my email is at Kongregate.
You want to throw it out there just for some of our audience who might take a bit?
It's Max at Kongregate.
Okay, great.
.com.
And thank you for touching on a couple other questions there as well. If there's anything you want to expand on, we did have from user Splash Shadow. Are you returning to a fully functional game portal? HTML5, ads, SDK. And we got another question from user Satoshi. Is Kongregate going to allow new browser game uploads on Kongregate.com again, e.g. HTML5 games? So you kind of touched on that a bit. Do you want to expand on that?
Oh, yeah, for sure. Yeah, new games, we're returning to publishing. Reach out to us to basically, be vetted as a developer. We're not turning everyone away, but there's also, a huge contingent of Hello World Scratch games that contribute to our 120,000 on the site. So it's really filtering that content. Definitely sandbox everything that we've had. We'll have some SDK and API updates coming soon, adding more functionality. As far as authentication goes, we're rolling out as an OAuth provider, so developers can utilize Kongregate's publishing platform both on and off site to leverage our user authentication analytics, all those fun things that developers care about and never want to build themselves. We build them for you, and we help you build your game without having to think about those things. Is the our definitely our guiding light, and of course, adding new pieces and new functionality around Web3 is coming real soon. and making it easier on the developer and the user than like the current landscape of Web3 gaming. I've gotten lost in wallets and exchanges before. I'd rather not give our users that experience. I want to, we're building out an experience that's as simple as creds that you've been playing with for 12, 13 years now.
And I love what you said there about doing all the parts the developer doesn't really want to. I feel like the other side of that is, hey, we'll focus on the more tedious parts so you can focus on the fun parts.
Exactly. Make the nice faucet. We'll provide the water and the piping to get you there.
I love it. Okay, let's
Hey,
change it up.
actually,
Oh yeah,
one
Michelle,
question.
sorry.
I actually had a follow-up question for Max.
Ooh.
So within that last question, they asked about ads, and I wasn't sure if there was a little thing that you wanted to call out there about the homepage.
Just the homepage or like the
Well,
whole site?
other
So,
places too.
we love ads. Ads drive revenue for developers. But what do we also hate? Ads, right? An ad-free experience is something that we're striving towards, or more of an opt-in ad experience. And what we've done is we removed display ads across the whole site. All we have now are pre-rolls and rewarded video. So those are things that directly impact the game developer by running those pre-roll ads, and then also directly impact the developer with rewarded video because it will entice users to play your game a bit longer. Hey, if I watch this ad, I get another life, or I get another run. I'll do that. And it's more of the friendly opt-in type of advertisement versus the in your face banners and leaderboards everywhere with ads on them.
Which also definitely cleans up the look of the homepage a lot. Like, it's a nice, tight look that we are slowly building out bit by bit.
Yeah, it's wider. Like it fits the width of modern computer screens versus 2006 targets for width. Really excited about that one.
Good old 800 by 600.
Exactly.
Okay, let's mix it up. Let's do some just something fun, something kind of to keep this a little bit lighter. A question that is coming from this is an internal question, a question that we want to ask you. What this week is living in your head rent free? I'll let either of you step up to the plate on this one.
So evergreen statement, something that lives rent-free in my head is Japan Cup racing, which is like crazy horses and giraffes, and like all of a sudden a sumo wrestler riding a backwards seal comes and is the dark horse in the race and wins. These things are on YouTube. Like, this game has been around forever, but like it just lives in my head because that's like kind of the Kongregate world I see us building with NFTs and everything. And interoperability is like, hey, you want to race your giraffe in this game? Come on, bring it in. Let's go. That lives there. And then an internal game pitch that I can't allude to much more than like it's like heavy metal meets Guitar Hero meets John Carpenter, like in this weird world. That's been living rent free in my head for about 48 hours now.
We'll have to come back to this AMA in like 2 to 3 years to see if we've done anything with that idea. Michelle, how about you? What is living in your head rent free?
That's such a hard question. I feel like I can't follow up Max's answer with anything good. My brain is a little overloaded this week. I think I'm actually in holiday brain mode. So I'm going to say just the holidays are stuck in my brain, and I'm going to dodge the question as best as possible.
Masterfully dodged. Honestly, I don't even think I would have noticed was it not for that mention there at the end. Okay, let's get back to features. Let's get back to the website. Question from An Aviancy. Will there be new games and badges added to the site? And this is a question that actually I'm really excited to ask as well, because this comes up all of the time on our Discord. People love badges. People want more badges. Max, are we doing things with new games and new badges on the site?
Yes, new badges, new achievements. coming real soon. We're launching some achievements, spoiler, around our title we've launched recently. We're looking at best ways to badge that. You know, it's a process. It's always a process. You got to play the game. We got to work through the game, and we got to make badges and achievements that are, you know, attainable, but not too easily attainable, right? So it's really that game balance there. The meta game is on the site is going to grow over the next year to levels that we haven't seen before, and I'm really excited for that. The things that we're cooking up on the product side to add more ways to get things, you know, beyond badges. You know, better sticker support, better NFT support, achievements in ways that you can, you know, really be proud to show them off in your profile again.
Nice. Yeah. And I'm sure people will. Like, the social aspects to Kongregate, even still now, are just a very loved part of the site. Speaking of other old features, people are always asking about chat. Specifically, I miss the old chat features. Will anything replace this? Will it come back? When? This is multiple people on the Discord. Michelle, is there anything you'd like to tell us here?
So I think over the years, so we obviously had chat on the site, we had forums and whatnot. And over the years, the technology has evolved. And what we found is that so many of our players and our audience are on places like Discord already. Why should we fight it? And so we're working on ways to bring Discord and Kongregate.com closer together. I think we're still working out exactly what that'll look like, but we are definitely keeping in mind how beloved chat was, and want to make sure that we can offer a feature that's very similar or even exactly the same if possible. But we'll see what the final implementation looks like.
Yeah, and I just also want to extend your answer out a little bit. As the one of the community managers for this Discord, our Kongregate official Discord, I am always trying to find ways to make it feel more like the chat that I know is very beloved. And so, please, if you have any suggestions, I am always receptive to those. Just hit me up with a DM or in our feedback channel. Always trying to make this space better for everyone who's listening now. Okay, let's talk tech. Let's talk our new incoming technology, specifically around the NFT technology. Michelle, I got a question here from Lunchbox Zine. Will Kongregate provide a means for NFTs to be used in games that support them? A few of my friends are making games, and they're curious.
I love to hear that your friends are making games. And just to say it again, bd@kongregate.com is the place to reach out to us. So yes, absolutely. We are going to support NFTs and provide a way for developers to be able to use NFTs in their games. We're already doing that with our current games. So if you haven't played Bit Heroes Runner, Bit Heroes Arena, Bit Heroes Quest, we have NFTs live, and they're interoperable across those 3 titles. So we're already on the path to building the technology through our products to make sure that we stress test it, that it makes sense, that it's fun. And then we want to roll out those features to developers in the future.
Yeah, as I mentioned earlier, we've got new APIs, new SDK features, bringing this all to, not the end user, but the end developer that would be publishing with us on the platform.
And then in addition to that, so that's a lot of like the new things we can be looking forward to. How about our old games? Again, this is a question that was inspired by Metallica Cap Floyd. I know I'm messing that one up. When will I be able to play my old favorite games on Kongregate.com? Max, when will they be able to play them?
Some now, some soon. We've integrated Ruffle into the site. We're continuing to work there, sponsoring Ruffle. A lot of big donations going on in that space, and this is a call out to the Flash and Ruffle community. Come work with me. I have a lot of cool stuff going on. We have a lot going on with Ruffle. Anyone that is contributing to Ruffle, looking to make some large contributions, let me know. I'm sure there's a way I can help incentivize that. It'd be really cool to get more development around Ruffle, specifically targeted at Kongregate. And that's not beyond our capabilities at the moment, but it's definitely beyond our capacity at the moment. So finding community, it's open source too, which I love. So contributing to open source is always great. Right now we're chasing ActionScript 3 compatibility, right? AS3 compatibility is gonna really, blow the roof off of everything that we used to do, and bring it all back. All the things that are missing, like Kongregate, for instance, that's deep AS3 game there. I would love to have that running in Ruffle. But then, of course, that is not just making Kongregate work in Ruffle, it's making the network stack in Flash and Swifts work again within Ruffle, and connecting up to our APIs and all that stuff. So that's on its way. I see it on the roadmap there. It's eventually going to get here. But I love incentivizing open source software. That's I built a career around open source and want to continue to do so and help others do the same.
Yeah, and just everything that they're doing over on that project is wonderful. We really appreciate all of their work, because it has definitely just brought a lot of our most enjoyable games back to easy accessibility, which is just where we like them. Okay, so there is a bit of a rumor going on around right now, and I want to talk to you guys about it. I don't know if you're aware of this. Apparently, we are all ants. Can you confirm or deny this?
Are you not an ant? I don't know. I feel kind of ant-like. I don't know.
Is this a
changes day
question
to day.
sponsored by Big Ant Trap?
I'm not gonna say who.
Are you a cop?
I'm not.
Are you
saying,
an ant cop?
Just answer the question is all I'm asking.
Are you an ant? Am I an ant?
We're all ants here. Every one of us. You in the audience as well. I feel like that's gonna become our. You know how like big YouTubers will have what they call their audience. Can we just start calling our audience ants?
Hungry ants. Yeah, hungry ants. Yeah. It doesn't quite have the ring I want. We'll keep working on that one.
Okay. Let's close this section. We'll just close this AMA asking a little bit more about blockchain technology specifically. It's still kind of a subject where there's a lot of opinions for or against it. User whose name I can't read because it's a very cute, basically very long emoji that's just all slashes. How do you feel about the controversy over blockchain? I'm going to direct this one to Michelle.
I was really hoping you were going to try and say that username because I was just trying to figure out what it is, but it is very cute.
Is that a regular expression? I mean, here's my programmer brain looking at it.
It might be.
Is this a regex? Oh, great. I can't. I've been coding for like 25 years and I still can't regex myself out of a paper bag. Like small things, like super easy. But man, when they start looking like this emoji here. Whoop.
It looks like two little critters. One is happy with their arms up, and then the other one is questionably happy, also with their arms up. But I don't know. That's my guess. Okay, to answer the actual question, how do I feel about the controversy over blockchain? So that is such an open question, which is really interesting. So blockchain, we all know there's tons of different pieces to it. So there's both controversy. There's also great things about it. I think that it's a new technology, and any new technology is gonna have controversy with it, especially because it's not regulated yet. The thing that Kongregate is most focused on is making fun games and working towards the future. And so we're not the kind of company that's gonna be into scams or get rich quick schemes. We're focused on this is our long-term play. do we want to do with this long-term play? And so we are both making games, we are updating our platform, we are building kind of this holistic strategy across the board to bring this new technology to players. And we hope you all like it. We think that it shows a lot of potential, and we think that there's actually more that we can do with the tech than what other people are currently doing. And I'm actually very curious to see how it develops over the next few years. I'm sure it will look very different in a year from now than it does today. Even last year, it looked very different than it does today. So the space is accelerating very quickly.
One fun thing that I've done in my past working for Kongregate that I recommend sometime is go back to like 2009, 2010 articles about how Web 2 was going to fail. And it's really interesting to put them in comparison to what we're hearing about Web 3 now. People don't
Oh,
really
it's like
change that much.
microtransactions all over again.
Oh, yeah, that's a good
It
point.
really
Too.
is. Yeah, hearing this, I mean, that was the crux of the Web 2 stuff back in 08, 09. I mean, that's when we launched Creds around that same era. And, a lot of people were like, oh, who wants to play a game $1 at a time? Like now I can tell you, I can pull up 75 million that have with us easily. So it's like the same kind of narrative. And like when you look at it, when I look at it on the tech side, like, everyone's like, oh, it's just a distributed database in some aspect or another. And like, yeah, it is. And that's what makes it really cool because you get to own your slice of it. Like instead of owning a row and, instead of us owning a row about you in our database, you own your wallet and its contents, which is your item inventory, et cetera. So it's just a cool parallel that I'm seeing between the two things. And like, yeah, it's a fun narrative to talk about because we talk about it quite a bit.
Yeah. Okay. I got one more here from MI. I'm gonna read it the way they worded it, and I'm gonna give this to Max to answer. So have fun with this one. How will Kongregate try to regain popularity with all the blockchain stuff? Because you guys only rode the Flash games wave to get popular, but Flash games were actually popular while blockchain games aren't.
Well, there's so much to unpack here, right? There's so many different like digs and jabs in this thing. We're not doing it to be popular. We're doing it to give developers, great avenues to build and be creative with, right? I don't think we rode the Flash games wave to get popular. We gave Flash developers a place to showcase their games and also earn revenue off of their games. You know, Flash games weren't popular. I remember a time when Flash games were definitely not popular. I mean, going back to Shockwave, right? Macromedia Shockwave, which became merged with the Future Splash player, which became Flash. I mean, it was not popular back then. It was oh, I need a plugin for a thing. Why do I need a plugin? I'd rather just download a game. This narrative follows us around every piece of new technology, whether it's a long-term game changer or not. So that's my off the cuff response to that one.
I think that's a very fair response. I appreciate that. Just gonna wrap this blockchain section up with and this is kind of coming from me as someone who is trying to overlook a community where Web3 and blockchain is becoming more and more a part of it. Do you guys have any suggestions, any feedback for the community on how to stay safe with some of these scammers that are coming from other companies or other people?
For sure. So there's definitely lots of spam out there. There's lots of scammers out there. If you're on Twitter and I think you follow anybody in the blockchain space, you'll get spammed. It just kind of happens. And the main thing that I want to reinforce is Congregate will never DM you directly. I have my DMs turned off in Discord. I recommend everybody do it. Don't follow links if you don't know who gave them to you. Even if it seems like it's from Congregate, we will not ask you to transfer ownership of NFTs that belong to you or anything like that. Like, if it seems suspicious, go ask questions. Go check with Adrian or somebody else, whoever's the leader of the particular Discord you're in, if you're in the Bitverse or Blood Vessels Discords. Make sure If it's not a link that we have officially endorsed, be careful. But yeah, don't respond to things if you don't know who they're from, because there is a lot of bad actors in the space. I hope with the FTC and whatnot paying more attention to this, some of that will start to dry up. But I think it'll take a while before all of the main scammers kind of get out of the game and get caught. But it is, you
Yeah,
got
and
to
when you
be
look at
present.
yeah, and when you look at a lot of the scams, I mean, they're on token drops and things like that, which is what we're not doing, right? We're coming at this like NFT and fun first. It's not buy our coin and someday you'll get rewarded like you would with Bitcoin. We're not the next Bitcoin. We're not trying to be the next Bitcoin. We're trying to bring, the fun and ownership of gaming to our users.
Okay, and thank you for your time today. Thank you for answering these questions. I really appreciate it on behalf of the community. We do actually have one more question that came in live, and I'll field this to either of you. So, how many ants do you have working behind the scenes?
Well, it depends on, does a person, is that like a gazillion ants or is that just one ant? Are these the ants that keep the wheels running in the engineering room? Like, what are we talking about in terms of ants? The number
If
could
I'm
change.
three
I just
ants
want
in a trench coat, 3 times 4 times 12 thousands. It's a whole colony.
Yeah, definitely not dodging the question again, guys. Oh, we'll get to the bottom of this ant controversy. I swear, there's a conspiracy here. We'll blow this whole thing wide open one of these days. All right. Thanks again. And thank you to all of our audience members on Discord as well as YouTube, and those in the future who are watching the YouTube video once it is published. Really appreciate you guys coming around, listen to what we have to say, and your questions. Keep them coming. Even if we don't have a specific AMA on the horizon, we are always, well, I am always accepting questions, and I am forwarding to the appropriate people when I can. And a reminder, if you're watching on YouTube specifically, we are using this channel to keep you updated with our latest developments and projects. So please hit that subscribe button and follow us so that you can stay in the know. Any final words that you'd like to add, Max and Michelle, before we sign off for the day?
We love questions. This is fun. Like, feel free to send us more questions, and we'll do more AMAs. I think we ran out of some of the questions, so we wouldn't have enough content to keep going. But send us more.
Hey, all I have to say is like thanks all for listening. I mean, the community is what makes us, and I mean we're here to bring you all games.
That's beautiful. Okay, and on that, I think that is the perfect note to end it on. Thank you all, everyone, again, very much, and we'll see you in the next